Hello everyone, Lapin here. Today's video is gonna be a few tips and tricks for newcomers to the game. It's not gonna be anything complicated, it's just a few things that people can learn in a few minutes and that can improve your gameplay experience by quite a bit. And it's just stuff that might not be as intuitive as it will be for somebody who's used to Titanfall. One of the first things that I have to think of is how reliable the hipfire is on quite a lot of guns in this game. Specifically, now we're talking about the SMGs, because all four of them have a very tight bullet spread when fired from the hip, and it might be quite a bit of a hard habit to break if you're coming from a game like Call of Duty or something, where people always aim down sights when engaging an enemy, and that is something that you can partially put away in this game, because there is gonna be so many scenarios in which you can really rely on your hip fire, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like in a second. We'll start off with the car SMG, an extremely balanced gun and absolutely a laser beam. Next to it, hipfire, and just take a look at that spread. Even from further away. This is still gonna be very tight for that range. Beautiful. And the same goes for the bolt. This is a bit weaker than the car SMG, but it's still precise as hell, as you can see. A beauty of a gun. Now with the R97, a beautiful sound, I love it. Here we go with the alternator, with that lateral spread. Hip firing is beautiful, and if you want to be an asshole, just tap fire. Damage for days. Look at that. It's just one practical example. It's just so satisfying. So what are you going to do with this information now? Well, hip firing allows you to stay mobile and to, kill people on the fly, and that's what most veteran players do. Like the best of the best are able to annihilate whole enemy teams while wall running and jumping and slide hopping, all at high speed. And the fact that they do not have to rely on ADSing makes it all possible. So this could be one of those tools that you can use, like the knowledge of how these guns work. You can use that to your advantage to start killing people while being fast as fuck. Next on the short list is gonna be auto sprint, and why I find it very reliable. Usually you will have to change from pressing L3 to sprint to auto sprint itself. This way you just have to press your left stick to reach your maximum sprinting speed, and from the sprint you can slide. What this does, specifically in a pilot versus Titan scenario, when you're on a rooftop or something, it flattens your body. That way you will be much harder to hit, especially if the Titan has just a very narrow space to hit you. Because I see many new players that just walk left and right and stand just like a sack of potatoes, and yeah, they're just usually dead by the first or the second time they fire their anti-Titan gun. So this is something that has allowed me to have prolonged fights with Titans, or even win them at a great disadvantage, so I definitely suggest you check that out. So here, let's say you spawned here, there's a fight up there, you wanna join, kill some motherfuckers. Let's go, like in Apex Legends. Jump, we're almost there, and we're ready to fight, right? The thing is, in Titanfall, you can skip the climbing animation, and you should. You should not climb all the time. You should really look into skipping that. Just like this, use your wall run and keep your gun drawn at all times. If you go into the climbing animation, you will have no defense. You will not be able to attack your enemies, and that way you will get fucked on over and over because of that. So if you make a habit out of, instead of going into the climbing animation, just going sideways on the wall and then double jump and stand on the rooftop, then with your gun drawn at all times, always ready to respond with fire, that's gonna make a big difference. Another thing that I think is very easy to learn and actually very helpful, without you having to know all of the movement system through and through, is the so-called strafe eject. Normally you eject your Titan after it's been doomed in a straight line. You go up in the air, but we are at the point in this game where there are tons of veteran players, and goosing people from the air is nothing hard for them, so you don't have really many options when it comes to saving your pilot life. Some go cloak. I personally really don't like that. When you have grapple, you have an option there, but what I like to use to throw off guard a Titan that is trying to get me in the air is the so-called strafe eject. It basically involves your both left and right analog stick, and since Titanfall runs on a source engine, you can steer your way in the air. That's what we call strafing. Of course, that's why it's called strafe eject. This jump is no bueno. This is where people just can goose you easy peasy because you follow a very predictable pattern. You just go up and down. Somebody with an ion, with a tone or an all-star gets a very easy shot on you. What you want to do instead is, as I said, use both your thumbsticks and do, let's say, somewhat of a half circle. You aim in the direction left or right, and you steer your body in the same direction somehow, and that gets you a little bit of speed, but you don't follow that straight line up and down that is so predictable. That is something that I think is very easy to learn and will save your life quite a lot of times. Of course, there's then very experienced players like that have actual good aim that you cannot fool with that, but I'd say a majority of the players is not ready for that, and that will mean it saves your life. And if you just happen to be using stim, activate it as soon as you're out of the Titan, and it will amplify the effects of the strafe eject by quite a lot. And just one slide hop and we are far away. So that's it. Just a couple of things that I think are very helpful and very easy to learn. Just a couple hours in game and you should get a grip of that, and hopefully it helps you out. So this is your boy Lapin signing out. Bye bye.